right, sixth grade. It's been a long time, but we're back, and it's another lesson of Math Lessons with Mr. Morris. Thanks for joining me. I'm Mr. Morris. Thanks for coming along for the ride, and what we're going to be looking at today is we're going to be looking at ratios. We're going to be doing two things. We're going to find out if two ratios are equal or not equal, and then the second half of the video is we are going to find the missing part, the missing value of these two ratios. The ratios they're going to look like fractions. Okay, so what I have on the board, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to see if these two ratios are equal. And I'm going to show you two ways to do it. Sometimes only one way works, but you got to be able to get these right, okay? Okay, so what I have there is I have the ratio of 4/7 or 4/7 or 4/7 and 8/14. And the clear-cut way to figuring out how to do this is you take your 4 and your 7. Okay, you take your 4 and your 7, and what you do is you then take your 8 and your 14. All right, and what I do is I'm going to cross multiply these things. All right, I'm going to cross multiply them. So once I cross multiply, I do 14 times 4, I do 7 times 8, I get 56. All right, I get 56. And then if I do 14 times 4, I should also get, looks like 56. So that means these ratios are equal. Okay, now the other way to do this is you take your 4 and your 7, you take your 8 and your 14, and you see if there's a relationship between the two. 4 is becoming bigger. 7 is becoming bigger. So how does 4 become 8? Well, you multiply 2. Now, if this is an equal ratio, the same rule has to apply for this part. 7 times 2 equals 14. So again, these are equal ratios. Okay? All right, now I'm going to do one more of these. All right, I'm going to do one more of these questions. Okay, so the second example, here it is. And the first thing I want to do is I'm not going to do the cross method. What I'm going to do is I'm going to see if these are equal by looking how 6 becomes 3 and how 8 becomes 5. I know that if I take 6 and I divide it by 2, I get 3. But when I take 8 and divide it also by 2, I don't get 5. So these are not equal. Okay, now here's the clear proof way to do it, where you'll always get an answer. And this is like I showed you in the first problem. I'm going to cross multiply. I'm going to cross multiply. So I take the bottom number and I go diagonally up to the 6. 5 times 6 is 30. 8 times 3 is 24. These numbers are not equal. Therefore, these ratios, the first ratio and the second ratio, are not equal. And that's how you do it. Okay, sixth grade. So for the second half of the video, now you got two ratios. All right, I put two problems up here. And what we have to do is we have to find the missing part. We have to find out, well, what is going to be our missing number for A and what is going to be our missing number for X. Okay, so real simple. The clear-cut way to do this is you could first look for a relationship. And if you see a relationship, for example, how does 5 become 15? Well, I know 5 becomes 15 if we multiply by 3. So if I take 4 and multiply by 3, I will get the missing number, which is going to be 12. So A equals 12. The other way to do it is if I take my 4/5 and I take A over 15. And this is going to be one of the ways that you may have to do it, because sometimes you won't see a relationship. So in this case, what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply 4 times 15. And 4 times 15 is going to give me the number 60. Okay? Now, the 5 has no number to work with. So what I do is I take that 60 and I divide it by 5, which will then give me 12. So A equals 12. So there's two ways to do it. Now, let's look at the second problem, and let's do it like I did here, okay? I'm going to take my 8 times 15. So I'm going to do 15 times 8, which is going to give me 40, which is going to give me 120. Okay, so I have 120. All right. Now 4 has no number to work with, so I'm going to take my 120 and divide it by 4, which looks like is going to give me 30. So I'm going to say that x equals 30. Okay, now I can also try it the other way and see if it works. Okay, look at the 4. 4 times what is going to get me 8? Well, 4 times 2. So let's try with the 15. 15 times 2, well, last time I looked, gives me 30. So my answer, again, x equals 30. And that's how you find the missing piece. Watch these videos over and over again. If you watch them, you'll get it. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you next time. Thanks.